Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video on my channel Hairliciously. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe so you guys are updated on hair loss and hair transplant topics, as well as updates on current hair loss treatments in the pipeline. So if you guys have been following my channel and watched my most recent video, you guys know that I did get my eyebrows done. I got these done a few weeks ago. Not an eyebrow hair transplant, but rather I actually opted for something called micro shading. And in a little bit, I'm going to go over why I didn't choose to get the eyebrow hair transplant. But basically, this is how my eyebrows looked before I got micro shading done. The outer corners were just very sparse and thin. And I think it's probably due to genetics because my sister and my dad also has similar brows as I do. There's no issues with, my hormones or anything like that. It's just that there wasn't a lot of density on the corners. So I was researching different ways that I would, be able to fill in the sparse areas or at least create the illusion of fullness. So for those who don't know, there's something called microblading and also micro shading. Micro shading is done when it's creating, just tiny dots on the brows using a motorized device with semi-permanent ink. And it somewhat kind of gives an airbrush look to the brows. And I decided to get micro shading done over microblading because micro shading typically is going to last longer than microblading, probably around 2 to 3 years with proper care maintenance. And it's also more ideal for sensitive and oily skin types. It also gives the appearance of fuller brows. And because, I already had some hairs even on kind of like the outer edges on the sparse areas, I just wanted to just kind of fill it in and just create the illusion of more density. Microblading, on the other hand, involves creating short hair-like strokes on the brows using a microblade, and it kind of mimics the look of brow hair. Some people do get a combination of both, but in my case, I just kind of decided to try out micro shading, given that I do have oily skin, and I wanted something that is going to last longer. And overall, I am pretty happy with the results. The first week or so was probably the worst since my eyebrows kind of looked really dark. But as the weeks went on, the ink pigments got lighter and lighter to the point where you can't even really tell that I had micro shading done. So let me just give you guys a quick video up close of how it looks. So, I think it looks pretty natural. It blends in with the existing hairs up here on my brows. In the photo I did, I just showed you guys, I did have some hairs here, but they're just really sparse. But I think it does a really good job, as you guys can kind of see. And, even from like a foot away, I don't think you guys can even tell that I had anything done to my eyebrows. So yeah, it looks pretty good. So cost-wise, I paid around $200 USD, which I thought was pretty cheap. I went to a place in Southern California in LA where a few people that I know also got their brows done. I really didn't experience any adverse side effects other than some puffiness and some redness, which basically just kind of subsided after the first day. The procedure itself was relatively quick. It lasted about half an hour, about 30 minutes extra to apply the lidocaine to numb the area locally. And, the process was super easy, super fast. And I honestly was previously debating whether or not to get an eyebrow hair transplant. I talked to Dr. Zara Cosmetica a while back because they also do eyebrow hair transplants in addition to body hair transplants. But I decided not to get one done because, number one, I didn't want to waste like 200 to 300 extra grafts solely for the eyebrows when my main focus with donor hair is for the scalp. And since I already had 2 hair transplants, my donor area is going to be limited now. And the last time that I talked to a doctor, it was probably around like 3,000 grafts that were left. I also didn't want to drop a couple $1,000s. They're not cheap, and doctors do charge more for the eyebrow hair transplants than they do for scalp hair because it is more specialized to the eyebrows, which involves proper angle placement and extracting specific grafts. And I also didn't want to run into the risk of potential shock loss in surrounding areas on the brows. Now, I do know that for hair transplants, shock loss is expected, and it typically does grow back. But I wasn't too sure about the brows in the surrounding native areas because I wasn't just sure exactly how it would, differ from scalp hair. And I also didn't want to deal with regular trimming to maintain the eyebrows. And as you guys know, with eyebrow hair transplants, the hairs are taken from the back of the scalp. So it is technically scalp hair, and it is still going to continue to grow in the same fashion as scalp hair, and it's going to require maintenance every week or two. I've also previously used Minoxidil and microneedling on the eyebrows in hopes of trying to stimulate hair growth, but I've always had bad side effects when I combined the two, and I would always kind of get like these puffy, just really bad irritation after every session. So I stopped doing that, and I've also looked into Bimatoprost, which goes by the brand name Latisse, and I really haven't seen any results. I do know that people that do use it for the eyelashes actually get really good results as far as, just growth. So if you guys are looking to, especially for females, if you have short eyelashes and you're trying to look into ways to grow it out, Latisse, or if you look for something with generic brand, Careprost or Bimatoprost, that actually works really well for the majority of people. So I would highly recommend that you guys check that out. All in all, I am pretty happy and excited that I did decide to pull the trigger and get microshading done. I'm happy with the overall results. My wife used to always kind of joke around and say that I look like Angry Bird just because half of my eyebrows were kind of missing and just being sparse. But I do highly recommend either microblading or microshading for those who want to fill in their eyebrows, either man or woman. It's kind of like SMP for the scalp, except for it's on the eyelash or eyebrows. And it's extremely affordable. It gives you a better facial shape and symmetry. And for those who are afflicted with androgen alopecia, having symmetry and thicker eyebrows can actually help make your forehead smaller, and it can also kind of get the main focus away from your hairline into other, features on your face. So let me know what you guys think of my eyebrows. It's a great alternative to an eyebrow hair transplant. And if you go to a reputable and experienced clinic, it can drastically improve your aesthetics. But that basically wraps up this video, guys. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. And I also do want to give you a reminder that I will be choosing a winner for Motion Clinic's hair transplant free giveaway this weekend. Make sure to stay tuned for that. There's been a lot of people that has applied. I believe it's been over 100 candidates. And so we've been kind of narrowing it down to a list of people that are actually qualified, because some people either didn't provide their photos or they were Nord 7s with very poor donor areas. So in cases like that, we actually had to eliminate you because you wouldn't even be a good candidate in the first place. But we are still going through the list, and we're going to be doing a drawing later this week or this weekend, so please stay tuned for that. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section below, and I will be providing you guys with more hair loss and hair loss research content in the upcoming videos, so please stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Take care.